Alrighty, good Wednesday morning, Mid-Michigan. I'm First Alert meteorologist Matthew Mondro with a First Alert forecast update for you as we look ahead here through the rest of the week. We are tracking some above freezing temperatures. We're also talking about some ice conditions, very importantly, as well. Even though we have had a bit of an early start to the season with the ice, we definitely just want to bring you some words of caution with that, because with this ice, we are going to see some of those conditions getting a little bit worse here over the next couple of days because of this warm weather. We'll take you to the forecast here for the rest of today first. Now, you'll already have noticed that temperatures have been pretty mild out there relatively throughout this morning. We've seen temperatures ranging anywhere from 35 to 40 degrees. In fact, one of the warmest temperatures that we've had here through the morning was 41, and that was in Mount Pleasant. So for the rest of the midday and the afternoon hours, we'll hold on to temps that are still between 35 and 40 degrees. For tonight, we'll fall down to about 28 to 30 degrees, so still falling below freezing tonight, but only by just a couple of degrees here. But certainly has felt even a little bit melty out there already with these warmer temps, and that's going to continue to be the case for the rest of today and especially for tomorrow, because tomorrow is actually going to be even warmer than today with a high of 44. So we are still tracking tomorrow as being the warmest day of this week. Even up north, you should see highs up to about 39 to 40. So places like Houghton Lake, West Branch, Rose City, or Whittemore. Certainly, again, going to be on the milder side of things, especially for this time of year, considering the average high right now is, or the normal high is about 34. So tomorrow will be about 10 degrees above normal. But we'll go from the mid-40s tomorrow down to about 20 degrees by Friday morning. So that quick fall with our temperatures does mean that possibility for a flash freeze. So what we're expecting to see here is that after the rainfall Thursday, which also rinses a lot of the salt that we already have on the roads off of the roads, plus the snow melt, with all that water there, it then refreezes as we go into Friday morning, so that would create a lot of ice. We think this especially would be more of an issue in residential areas and on a lot of back roads and rural roads, but it is certainly something that we do want to make you aware of, because that Friday morning drive could end up being pretty slippery and icy as a result of this. So a First Alert weather day is possible for this. This is something that the First Alert weather team here, we have been discussing how we do want to end up carrying on with this here for Friday morning. But really at the end of the day, we do want you to at least know there is that possibility for some icy roads. Now take a look here at the First Alert hour by hour for tomorrow too. This is with the rainfall. We should have our first spotty showers sometime around the mid to late morning. About 9 in the morning we see this moving in. More spotty showers even into the early afternoon, but then this rain should really start to pick up in coverage closer to about 5 in the evening, right near dinner time. So we do expect that dinner time frame to be pretty wet as this rain moves through. And notice on the very trailing edge of this rain, we could possibly even see just a little bit of snow mixing in with that. This is just indicating how quickly some of these temperatures are expected to fall from the afternoon on Thursday, even as we go into Thursday evening, and then throughout the rest of the night tomorrow, we'll just see temperatures continuing to get even colder. Now, with rainfall on its own from the system, we're expecting anywhere from 1/4 to 1/2 of an inch. Some of those highest totals for places like West Branch or Gladwin or Beaverton, also around the Coleman, Mount Pleasant, and Alma areas. So where some of the blue highlighting is on the map, that's where some of those totals could be a little bit closer to 1/2 of an inch. But take a look at these temperatures too. This is the hour by hour play out of our temperatures tomorrow. This is starting at about 5 in the afternoon, so we have widespread 40s across mid-Michigan. And then going towards about 8 in the evening, so right as this cold front is starting to move through, notice how quickly those temperatures are falling right behind the front. So you still have some areas, especially in the thumb, that are in the mid and possibly even briefly for an hour or so in the upper 40s, but then falling right down to the low 40s and then the 30s pretty quickly right behind the front. So the front should actually go right across I-75 at approximately 8 in the evening tomorrow. And then behind that, towards midnight, temperatures are falling even closer to freezing. After midnight, we'll just continue to see those temperatures dropping by about 2 degrees per hour. So by about 5 or 6 in the morning on Friday, those temps will be closer to 20 degrees. So it no doubt will be cold as we start off the day on Friday, but with that quick drop in our temperatures, that's where we do see that possibility for a flash freeze on our roadways, and so that's where that first alert weather day possibility comes in for Friday. Now, if we do declare a first alert weather day, we do want you to know that it definitely won't be for the entire day on Friday. It would really just be focused on the morning during that commute time, because that's when the ice would happen to be the most widespread if we happen to see this playing out like we're expecting. But Thursday evening, that still shouldn't be icy. And then even by about this time on Friday, roadways should be improving by then, and that's especially the case for the rest of Friday as well. So really the focus on that, if we do declare a first alert weather day, would just be for the morning, specifically for that commute time. And also interestingly, after Friday, after that really cold morning and the potential for some of the ice, we actually do have a fairly quiet forecast going forward after Friday. So just a couple of isolated snow showers Saturday, the winter solstice on Sunday, that's looking dry, and then Monday and Tuesday of next week also looking dry as everything stands right now. So again, fairly quiet stretch of weather after the system passes by us here at the end of tomorrow and after that cold morning on Friday, but temperatures are still going to be a little bit up and down. So after the mid-20s on Friday, we're back to the mid-30s on Saturday, and then upper 20s on Sunday, and then more mid-30s make an appearance again around Tuesday of next week. So a bit up and down with these temperatures, but outside of the temperatures, fairly quiet forecast after Friday. But importantly, with all of this milder weather, these above freezing temps that we're having right now too, ice safety is something that we do want to keep as top of mind as well. So we'll take a quick break here. When we come back from the break, we'll take more of a look at some of the ice information here for the Saginaw Bay especially. Alrighty, welcome back from that break. So the rest of this live stream, we'll be talking a little bit more about the ice conditions that we've been tracking out there as well. We already know there are some ice fishers out there. Even yesterday, driving through downtown Saginaw and going over the river, I've seen some shanties out there, and I actually saw some snowmobile tracks on the river yesterday as well. Now, unfortunately for our ice fishers, I really do think that yesterday was actually the last sort of safe day to be out on the ice. Certainly today, that is not really going to be the case, and even as we go forward through the rest of the week, that's not expected to be the case as well. So from here, we expect ice conditions to really only get worse for the remainder of the week because of these above freezing temps, and we have even more wind in the forecast tomorrow as well. I'll take you over here to our ice coverage on the Saginaw Bay. Now, the gray shading, that indicates land-fastened ice. The red shading is 90 to 100% ice concentration, and then the orange is 70 to 89% ice concentration. So even yesterday, this was all completely red across the Saginaw Bay. So seeing some of this orange coming back in is indicating the fact that some of this ice concentration is starting to break up a little bit. And this bodes well with what we saw on satellite yesterday too. This right here is actually a satellite loop from 11:30 yesterday morning to 3 in the afternoon. And I'll go ahead and point this out with the arrow too. We actually had a pretty sizable ice flow break off from the remainder of the Saginaw Bay ice, and it started to be pushed northward out into the open water of the bay because of that wind that we had yesterday. We had a fairly strong southwest wind, and some of those gusts were reaching up to about 30 miles per hour. So you can see this right here. I'll kind of move this right along where that crack formed. You can see that, and then that entire chunk of ice, that flow, actually moved north out into the open water. and we do think that that is something that could occur even more. Maybe not so much today, even though today will be a warm day, but especially tomorrow, because not only will we have the warmth tomorrow, but we also have some stronger winds in the forecast for tomorrow as well. So highs for tomorrow up to about 44 degrees. Even for tonight, we only fall down to about 28 to 30 degrees, and that's realistically only for a few hours tonight as well. So other than that time period in the middle of tonight, we're still largely staying above freezing here all the way until the end of the day tomorrow, especially well above freezing tomorrow with those highs into the mid 40s. And we do have a southerly wind on track for tomorrow, and gusts will reach anywhere from 25 to 35 miles per hour, especially those stronger gusts closer to dinner time tomorrow as the heaviest of the rain picks up. But with that southerly wind, that just means that there's more potential for more ice flows to break off and move out into the open water as well. So this is just signaling the fact again that these ice conditions are really only going to get worse from here for the rest of the week. Right now, the ice thickness, I've seen reports anywhere from 3 to 5 inches, possibly even a few isolated 6-inch spots on the ice. Certainly it has been a little bit borderline as far as ice fishing conditions. It is, of course, still a little bit early here in the season, but thanks to the 3 weeks of cold weather we've had, that did help us to build up some of this ice a little bit early. But after the warm weather today and tomorrow, and after the wind and after some of the rain tomorrow too, we expect that ice thickness to even take a little bit of a hit as well. So really, we just want to give you that word of caution that from here, we are not expecting this ice to be very safe at the very least for the remainder of this week. But of course, it's still a little bit early in the season here. We still have plenty of winter left. At least technically isn't even winter yet. The winter solstice isn't until this upcoming Sunday, but we want you to just take your ice safety or take top priority for that if you are someone who is going out there and doing some ice fishing. And even on the northern parts of the river closer to the bay, and going right through Bay City, there is actually still some freighter traffic too. The freighters aren't done as they still have some shipments to bring in, so they're also still having to break through some of that ice. So that's also keeping those conditions a little bit on the less favorable side for right now too. So we just want to make you aware of that, especially given the warmer conditions that we have in the forecast today and tomorrow, and with that stronger wind for tomorrow as well. But in the meantime, we hope that you have a great remainder of this Thursday morning, and or rather a Wednesday morning, and meteorologist Stone Schaefer will be here at 2 o'clock to bring you another live stream to talk some more details on the forecast and to talk some more details about that potential flash freeze for Friday morning as well. But again, in the meantime, hope you have a great remainder of your Wednesday morning.